What's up, everyone? Tip the Pineapple here. Sorry for my hiatus the past few days. If you can't tell by the way I sound, I've been sick. I don't know what it is. I felt fine Friday, then I woke up Saturday and my throat was sore, and it's a mess. It really is. But anyway, I'm going to try to get this video out tonight, and hopefully you like it. This is that one I was talking about earlier, last week, about the I played with the Browns and slapped this dude. It was actually a little bit closer of a game than I remembered, because he came back and scored a little bit in the fourth quarter, but for the most part, it is an absolute slapping. I'm going to take Tyrod out because he's terrible. Yeah, I've been sick. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I sound gross. Also, I'm on the East Coast, so the whole hurricane thing kind of rattled the schedule a little bit. I work for a distribution company over here on the East Coast, and pretty much they sent all our orders for the entire week within like 2 days, so I was working like stupid hours and our schedules were all messed up. I just really didn't have that much free time last week. And then, like I said, I've been sick all weekend. Today I just started feeling a little bit better. But no matter, there should be no excuse. I know a lot of people are probably going to want to be watching blackout beta content right now. I've got a little bit of it. I'm going to get into that maybe in my next video, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. I really wasn't feeling it that much. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't feeling it that much. I didn't really... Look at this first play of the game. Nice stiff arm, dude. I like it. I like the hustle. Anyway, I wasn't feeling the game. I'm way more excited for the multiplayer. The main problem I have with it is with really any battle royale game. It's hard to go out. You never know. You know, if you're playing like team deathmatch or something, and if you're in a good lobby, you know, whatever the case may be, you know when you're going to get good gameplays, and you know you can record. With this game, it's kind of like you never know what's going to happen. You know, there's people sitting in corners, people camping in houses, just shooting out of a top story window. You know, every time you try to loot someone's backpack, you get shot in the back. You just never know when you're going to have a good gameplay or a bad gameplay. It's hard to record like 30-minute games and then go through all that footage just to find a little bit of decent gameplay. It's hard to record the game and do commentary over it post-recording, you know. I think it'll be a great game for live streaming and live commentary, stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes whenever the full game drops. But I got a little bit of content for that. I'm going to drop that later this week, and I'm going to give some more of my opinion about the game. But some of it's probably not going to be that good. Anyway, for this video, I just wanted to go through. We're about to be in week 3 of the NFL season. That's what, almost 20% through the season already. Just wanted to go through each team and kind of give a short overview of how I feel they've played so far this year, their strengths, their weaknesses, stuff like that. Obviously, the Browns right here, they just released Josh Gordon. I think, well, they didn't release him, they traded him to the Patriots, I believe. I don't know what they got out of it. Maybe like a 5th-round pick or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I do like the trade. I like Josh Gordon going to New England. Tom Brady, you know, he's a lot more successful with those like little slot receivers where he can dump it off. You know, he's not the he's good. He's still good, but he's not the well-oiled machine that he was, you know, 3 or 4 years ago. But Josh Gordon gives them some big play potential that I think they probably otherwise wouldn't have had, besides Rob Gronkowski, of course. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let me say this also, if you guys hear any sort of weird noises like radio silence or the sound of a cat being unscrewed or the sound of me sipping upon my water, still dealing with a little bit of an itchy, scratchy, sore throat. Got some nasty stuff going on with my face. So if you hear me, I'll try to get off the mic and get away from it if I have to spit or blow my nose or anything like that. Let's get right into it, though. For the first team, I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm an Eagles fan, so of course I hate the Cowboys. I hope they have 0-16 year every year. I know that's not going to happen, but I think it'll be pretty damn close this year because Dak Prescott, in my opinion, is trash. He is stupid trash. They don't really have any receivers to speak of. I mean, they released Dez, which is beyond me still to this day. Jason Witten's gone, all their main weapons. They got Ezekiel Elliott still, and as long as they have him, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but he's a good running back. And that O-line, they'll put up a few points, but I don't think, 8-8 will be a great success for that team. Their defense really has nothing to speak on, and they're in a really tough division. So that's what I think about that. The New England Patriots are next. Like I said, Josh Gordon, I think, was a great pickup for them. They have a chance to get back to the big game this year. But they're also in a pretty tough conference, and, they're going to have to get through the likes of, I think, Minnesota and Green Bay to get back to the... Nah, I might be wrong. I think I'm completely wrong on that. But they're going to be a good team. They have a good defense. I actually got their defense on my fantasy squad this year. They didn't do much for me last week, but they'll be solid. Not too much you could say about them. They got decent receivers. They got, I don't know, they usually have 4 or 5 good running backs. I don't think it's any different this year. I think James White's going to have a big year, and then they got Burkhead. They got, Josh Gordon, Gronk, all the big names. Chris Hogan's going to put up some points. Tom Brady, you can never count him out, whether you like him or hate him. But they'll be a solid team. Green Bay Packers. It depends on how healthy Aaron Rodgers can stay. I saw him hurt his leg the other night whenever they're playing the Bears. They're playing the Bears. Yeah, he hurt himself. He was out. I think they got to a 20-point deficit or something, but then he came back in and he just completely made the Bears look silly. He embarrassed them. He brought the team back, won. They don't really have anything else to lean on out there in Green Bay besides Aaron Rodgers. To me, Williams, he's not a starting running back for any team besides that, just because they have no one else. And Jordy Nelson's gone. Maybe Jimmy Graham can get back to his old self, start playing well again. That'd be nice to see. But their defense is just terrible. Who's next? Let me get my list here. Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is about to go off this week. Let me just say that. If you play DFS, if you're on FanDuel or DraftKings or anything like that, go get Kirk Cousins this week. He's going to snap. Stephon Diggs is a beast. Dalvin Cook, I think, in time will be a great running back. That defense is probably top 3, if not number 2 in the league. They got a real chance as long as Philly doesn't destroy them again in the playoffs like they did last year. That was ridiculous, but I think that had something to do with Case Keenum. I'm not the biggest buyer on him. I don't see him, maybe he'll win a playoff game. I don't see him ever going to the Super Bowl or, winning a Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination. The New York Giants I got next. Oh, Eli Manning, the damn crypt keeper. I don't understand why he still has a starting job in the NFL. I guess because he won a Super Bowl. That's the only reason I can figure. But, Saquon Barkley, he's going to be the guy for them to build. How did he not catch that? Come on. Saquon Barkley is going to be the guy for them to build around. They have an above-average defense. But, again, they're in that tough division, with Philly and Dallas and Washington. I don't see them winning. Philly's going to win that division. It's just as simple as that. I think any football fan would mostly agree with me as long as they can get their injury issue under control. And actually, they're the next team I'm going to talk about, the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz is about to come back this week. Alshon Jeffrey's going to be back this week. I think last week was a fluke. You got Fitzmagic out there doing his thing. I don't know where that came from. He kind of reminds me a lot of someone like Nick Foles, where they'll go to a team. I know this is the second time he's been with the Eagles, but they'll go to a team their first year, they'll do great. They'll just go off. Then they'll get a contract, get a big head, and just start sucking. It's like anytime those guys start making any kind of money, they just go right down the drain. But Carson Wentz is another story. That dude is a machine. He's going to go off this week. Him and Alshon Jeffrey. I predict 2 touchdowns. 2 scores from Alshon Jeffrey this week. And also they've got Zach Ertz. To me, I know I sound like an Eagles fanboy, and I am. But to me, he's the best tight end in the game. Well, I don't know. Gronk is the best tight end. You can't deny that. But he's the second best. He's a close second. He's a good player. They got some good young guys too. You got Clement out there doing his thing, and Jay Ajayi, if he can stay healthy, he's gonna, get a lot of goal line scores. And their secondary really is a lot better than it looked the other night. I don't know what happened. They got torched all kinds of different ways. Deshaun Jackson, I think he just plays better against them for whatever reason. He's just got a chip on his shoulder, and he's a beast. I wish he would have stayed there. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is spinning around the toilet bowl, about to go down the drain. Excuse me. Le'Veon Bell, he's probably, if I had to guess, going to be gone sometime this year. I don't see him playing another game in a Steelers uniform. Why they won't pay him, I don't know. Big Ben, he's still producing, but really, the tread's getting pretty thin on his tires. He doesn't have much longer to go. And their defense just, how many points did they give up to the Browns the other day? Their defense made, against the Browns, looked like this Kansas City defense in this game. Freaking bad. Also, Antonio Brown, I heard some talk about him wanting to be traded. I saw that tweet he put out. I think that was just a joke, The guy was like, oh, I can't remember who said it, but he was like, yeah, Antonio Brown's only producing because he has Ben Roethlisberger. Which is bullshit. Sorry. Pardon my French. It's bull crap. Because Big Ben, he is good. He's got a great deep ball. He's been good for a long time. But Antonio Brown's, he's double covered like 80% of the time. And he still manages to average, I don't even know how many yards he averages a game. I'd say close to 90, plus all those touchdowns. Yeah. If he stays there after Ben's gone and after Le'Veon Bell's gone, I see his value dropping a little bit, but I don't think he's going to stay there much longer. Even though the coach and Big Ben came out and said that's not the case, but only time will tell. Let's see, Seattle Seahawks. Good Lord. Last night they got trashed by the Bears. They look terrible. Their offensive line is dog shit. It is like up there with the Bills' offensive line in terribleness. The only thing they have is what's his name? Russell Wilson. That's the only thing they have. They got some decent young guys on defense. That corner, they got 2 picks last night against the Bears. Was that last night or the night before? I don't know. The days are running together, man. I've been heavily medicated. That corner looked pretty good. Can't dig up his name right now. But that defense, the Legion of Boom, is gone. And now that team is the Legion of Doom, I'm afraid. And yeah, I don't see them making a deep playoff run at all. The Bears, on the other hand, they got a huge upgrade getting Khalil Mack. That dude has produced from the word go in Chicago. And that defense looks pretty decent. Trubisky looks pretty good. He's moving around well. He needs to start making some more plays. I know there was that video that came out of I think it might have been Trey Burton, just wide open in the end zone, and Trubisky looks right at him, but he checks down to like his second or third look because he said that was like his 4th look on the play, and You know, if you're going to be a successful quarterback, you're going to have to take the game into your own hands at some point, which I think he will. I mean, he's still young. That was a terrible throw, by the way. But that team's looking pretty solid. I like Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard, too. I think both of those guys will have about 800 yards this season. The Oakland Raiders. I think the only thing I have to say about them is better luck next year. You got 2 first-round picks coming, I think, next year and the year after for Khalil Mack. And that team seems to just be in rebuilding mode right now. Derek Carr, I don't know if he's the answer. They need a receiver. You know, Amari Cooper, he's solid. But they need somebody to take some pressure off of him. Derek Carr is no Ben Roethlisberger. He's not going to be able to produce with just one number 1 receiver. He's going to need some other weapons. My goodness, how the 49ers have let their fans down so far this year. Mainly Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's going to pull out of it. He's a solid quarterback. But he is mortal, and we have seen that so far this year. Jarrett McKinnon going down in preseason didn't help either. And their defense is nothing to speak of. But, you know, I think they'll win about 9 or 10 games this year, maybe. Maybe if Garoppolo gets back to form like he was last year. Cleveland Browns. They will start winning games as soon as they put freaking Baker Mayfield in the quarterback spot. Tyrod Taylor has proven he is not a winner. He's had decent teams out there in Buffalo. He had some not great teams, but he had decent teams. He had as good of a team as he has in Cleveland right now, and he couldn't win out there. I do not see him winning in Cleveland. I think they're going to have to go to Mayfield eventually. To me, Tyrod has not shown any reason for him to continue to be able to start. But I think they'll be better than they were last year. Oh, snap. Let's see, Denver Broncos. I thought that was about to be the Royce Freeman show out there. Apparently, I was wrong about that. Looks like it's going to be the Lindsey show, if anyone. That's the team that mostly I just forget about every year since Peyton Manning has been gone. That was a big time hit right there. You ain't catching that, son. Oh, sorry. High time Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas found a way to get out of there if they want any chance of having any sort of success post Peyton Manning. Washington Redskins. That is a team that I'm a little bit scared of. That is the only team that I'm scared of, being a Philadelphia fan in that division. They've got a good quarterback. They've got 2 good running backs. They've got some decent receivers. If Jordan Reed can stay healthy for once in his miserable life, maybe they'll win. I'd say we go 10 or 11 games. I'm going to go 10 games. They might win 10 games. Baltimore Ravens. Joe Flacco. Get out of there or get paid less. Come on, man. He's done nothing since that Super Bowl they went to. Really, since he got his contract, he's not done a whole lot of anything. Their defense is looking way better than I expected it to. They got a good run defense, which is going to help them a lot in the playoffs, I'm sure. I know it's a passing league, but teams seem to kind of be streamlining towards the multi-headed backfields and trying to get the running game going a little bit more than they have in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I can see them doing well. I don't think they're going to make a deep run with Joe Flacco ever again, though. New York Jets. Sam Darnold is playing pretty decent for a rookie. If you're a Jets fan, I'm sure you're happy with how he's playing. I really like Robbie Anderson out there, too. I kind of predicted him to have a big fantasy year this year. I know whenever I was drafting, I had him up there with dudes like... well, hold on. Actually, hold on 1 second.
first down, Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. A good pickup there of 22.
I got my papers here.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. He sets the fire deep. This is taken.
I had him up there. Let's see. I had him up there with the likes of Alshon Jeffrey, Smith-Schuster, Devin Funchess, dudes like that. I kind of think he's going to have a pretty good year. Obviously, Smith-Schuster is going to be better than him this year because that dude's been going off so far. But the Jets, you know, they're on the right track. They're on the right track. Let's put it that way. Kansas City Chiefs. Judging by this game right here that you're watching, probably don't expect them to do all that well. But I think they will. They'll do decent. They got, as long as they have Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill, they're going to win some games. Those two alone will win them some games. Cincinnati Bengals, they've looked a lot better than I expected. I don't really like Andy Dalton. I liked him when he first came out, but he hasn't turned into the type of quarterback that I thought he was going to be. Wide receiver screen was a miserable fail right there, dude. Don't you ever call that on me again. But they look all right. Mixon, hopefully he can stay healthy and produce some points for him. AJ Green has been playing out of his mind. He might have a career year this season. And even if he doesn't, he's going to have a good year regardless. The defense looks pretty decent. They got a pretty good secondary. I see them winning, 8 to 9 games maybe. Buffalo Bills. Will not be surprised to see them lose the rest of their games this year. Clearly, Josh Allen's not the guy. Peterman is definitely not the guy, unless the guy is someone who's going to throw 5 picks and a half. He's never going to live that down, no matter what he does. If he wins the Super Bowl, that would still be what he's known for. Their O-line is easily the worst that I've seen in the NFL so far. Not only this year, probably ever. They have no receivers. That dude, Vontae Davis, I think it was, just completely left at halftime, retired. I heard that he was waiting on his guaranteed money to hit his account, and that's whenever he was going to retire. And apparently he got an update notification on his phone that it had hit, and he was like, deuces, and it's a pretty shitty way to go out, but can't say that I blame him. Los Angeles Rams. Right now, they got enough weapons that Jared Goff might be able to win him a Super Bowl. I mean, Jake Delhomme got damn near to winning one back when they had Steve Smith in his prime and Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo in his prime. Greg Olsen, of course. Actually, was he with them? I don't know if he was with them in that Super Bowl. He might have still been with Chicago. I can't remember. But they got enough weapons. The Rams have enough weapons to where Jared Goff might be able to win a Super Bowl. I mean, Nick Foles won last year. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but I'm sorry. They got possibly the best defense. I think it's the best defense. It's between them and Jacksonville and Minnesota. I'd say Rams 1, Jacksonville a close second, Minnesota third. As far as defense goes, Todd Gurley is a beast. He's not really that prone to injury. He's looked pretty good so far this year. Brandon Cooks is going off. They could do it. They could win it this year. Carolina Panthers, my hometown team. Don't really like them. Don't like Cam Newton. I'll pull for him against certain teams, but I don't like Cam Newton. Let's just leave it at that. Arizona Cardinals. The easiest way to put this. All right, 2 points. That's all I'm going to say about the Cardinals. Sam Bradford is ass. He is hot dog ass. And what did he throw, like 90 yards in their last game? That's pathetic. And then I feel very bad for David Johnson. Hopefully he can find a way out. That's all I'm going to say about them. The Lions clearly have all but given up. Matt Stafford, of course, is going to have his yards and his touchdowns, but he's going to throw his picks too. Golden Tate will probably, be a pretty decent fantasy player, and Marvin Jones, he's always a boomer bust guy, high ceiling, low floor type of player. I don't see them winning much. Atlanta Falcons, maybe the most well-rounded team in the NFL right now. Good defense, good quarterback, 2 really good running backs. They got some good young receivers. Obviously, Julio Jones, hopefully he can get some touchdowns this year. I can see them making a run. So far, top 4 teams I've talked about so far to me are the Falcons, the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Rams. With the Rams probably being most high on the Rams, but the Falcons are really good too. New Orleans Saints, they really need to start playing some defense. That came to bite them in that Minnesota game last year in the playoffs. They need to learn how to tackle, and their O-line needs to play good for them to win games. But I see them being about as good as they are every other year. Nothing much to say about them. Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles, I don't understand how they've made it this far with him, but they have, and they're probably one of the top 5 teams, or they are one of the top 5 teams easily in the NFL. Maybe the best defense. I'd say the Rams are better, but their top 3 defense, probably number 2. They lost their number 1 guy. They got rid of Hearns. Their receivers, I think they took a dip in the receiver column this year, but Leonard Fournette, he's one of the best. And he's young too. He's getting right in his prime. He's playing well this year. I see them easily winning 13 games this year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my goodness. Ron Fitzmagic. Fitzpatrick playing just out of his mind so far this year. Him and Mahomes. I don't know why I didn't mention Mahomes when I was talking about the Chiefs, but there's no way they can keep up this pace. Something's going to give eventually, and I don't know what the locker room situation is going to be like whenever Jameis Winston gets healthy. But if they take Fitzpatrick out for Jameis Winston the way he's playing right now, then whoever makes those decisions deserves to be drug into the street and shot. I see them being 3rd place in that division, though. Let's see. LA Chargers. This is probably the best, worst team in the NFL year after year. When they're good, they're bad, and when they're bad, they're abysmal. I don't understand. You got Melvin Gordon, Phillip Rivers. You got some of the, one of the best receiving cores in the game. Their linebackers are terrible, but they should be able to put up enough points to win 8 or 9 games this year. I don't know if it'll happen. Hopefully it does. Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson's back. He's looking healthy. He's getting around pretty well. They just got Will Fuller back last week, and he completely went off. Honestly, Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins, that's probably the best 1-2 punch as far as receivers go in the NFL. I know Will Fuller is regarded as a boomer bust player, but I had him last year whenever Watson was healthy, and he was healthy. He probably single-handedly helped me win like 5 or 6 games last year. I think he had like 7 touchdowns in 4 games or 3 games or something retarded like that. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think he's easily gonna be 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns maybe this year, if he stays healthy, and if Watson stays healthy, because Fuller took a major dip down whenever Watson went out last year. And Lamar Miller is serviceable. He's not that great, in my opinion. He shouldn't be a number 1, 3-down workhorse like every team has tried to make him his entire career, even in Miami. He's decent, but he's not going to win you any games. But they have one of the best defensive lines ever. J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and Whitney Merciless. there's no reason why they shouldn't win double-digit games this year. Indianapolis Colts. I got a buddy that is a huge Colts fan. I don't get it. I don't like them. I think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm not that high on Andrew Luck. I know he had one good year, but a lot of quarterbacks have had one good year, and they don't have the weapons at all to compete. They have no defense. They have no running backs. Marlon Mack maybe, will be decent this year. I don't see it happening. I know they got T.Y. Hilton, and who's their receiver or their tight end, Doyle maybe. I mean, I don't really even know that many players that play for the team. They seem to be so far out of contention every year, and Andrew Luck just can't seem to stay healthy, probably because their O-line's garbage. And another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass. They're gonna have a tough go. Excuse me. They're gonna have a tough go this year. The last team, the Tennessee Titans. I was expecting Derrick Henry to be an easy number one RB1 this year. Obviously, that is not going to be the case. They got that rookie wide receiver. I can't remember his name right now. But he's going to be solid at some point in his career. Maybe not with Tennessee. Maybe not with Marcus Mariota. Maybe they'll never, make the playoffs with Marcus Mariota. I don't know. I like Mariota. I don't think that's the right scheme for him, though. It's not the right fit over there. Honestly, I could see him doing way better in, Arizona. They need a quarterback. I think he would complement their play style a little better. Maybe even somewhere like Pittsburgh in a couple years. Yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he'll ever be a good quarterback for Tennessee either. But that's all the teams, and that's what I think of them. And I know it's only week 2, but you can learn a lot in 2 weeks, and I certainly have. I've been watching the games. I've been, watching the fantasy football analysis, stuff like that. But that's my opinion. And you're going to get my opinion on something else here real soon. And it's going to be the blackout beta, and it's probably not going to be that good. I don't really care. I like the multiplayer. I'll come out and say that. But don't expect a whole lot of blackout beta footage because I don't have a lot of it. Simply just because I didn't record much of it. Simply because I didn't know if I was going to drop in and get shot in 10 seconds or if I was going to drop in and make top 2. I made top 2 a couple times solo, duo a couple times, and quads. I can never really get a good rhythm with quads. Not that many people had mics on either. I don't know what the deal is with that. I feel like the Call of Duty community has kind of gone away from using mics, which kind of sucks because that used to be half the fun, talking shit and getting reactions out of people. And it's really, I would think, going to be necessary in a battle royale game mode where you're playing with other people. You're going to have to say, hey, meet me here, let's go here. I know you can drop your little waypoints and stuff like that, but a lot of times I'd be playing with quads and, 2 people would just go off completely on their own thing. And kind of defeats the purpose. I don't know. Hopefully the community gets a little better. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully the community gets a little better as far as that goes. But yeah, I'll probably have another video out more on the blackout beta. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna be feeling, but soon. It'll be this week. Also, hopefully, if the house is still standing, we're supposed to go to the beach. I'm supposed to leave Saturday for the beach. Be there for 7 days. So obviously I'm not going to be able to upload. Well, I could, but I'm not going to take all my shit down there and try to upload while I'm at the beach. Going to be partying too hard. But hopefully we can go. I don't know. I don't think it was as bad as everyone thought it was going to be. I'm about 4 hours inland from the coast. They were talking about we were going to get hit hard, but really we just got a fair amount of rain. I wouldn't even say a lot of rain. It rained pretty steadily for like 2 days. Got a little bit of wind, but nothing, nothing got tore up. It wasn't anything too bad. I think by the time it actually made landfall, it was like a Cat 2. And looked like Charleston and some northern South Carolina cities got hit the worst. But T's and P's for all those people down there on the coast. Hopefully there's not too much rebuilding to do, but keep them in your thoughts. I certainly will. And that's about it. I'm going to leave you guys with the end of this game. I think he might score again. I can't really remember. But anyway, it matters not. Tip the pineapple. I'm out of here. I will see you guys real soon.
Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
He's going to let it fly. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.